In today's tutorial, I'm teaching you how to crochet. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified each week for my new video. In today's video, I am giving you the basic essentials that you will need to start crocheting, a couple stitches to get you started, and then also, of course, how to begin and also how to end your project. At the end of each step, I will also give you a suggested practice time so that you can keep practicing at home. First of all, I'll start with the supplies that you need to learn how to crochet. The basic supplies that you need in today's video to learn how to crochet is a crochet hook, some acrylic yarn, and also some scissors. So next, let's start with holding your hook and yarn tension. These are two of the most important things that you need to learn how to do when you're crocheting. First of all, we'll start with holding your hook. To do this, you want to put your right thumb on the larger section of your hook and grab the back of it with your middle finger holding on the thickest part of the hook and your other two fingers around the hook. Your index finger will be up holding your yarn. This is how you hold your crochet hook. And next is yarn tension. This is super important, but it also will take a lot of time to learn this, so make sure that you're being patient with it and you just keep practicing until you get it down. Taking your left hand, you will point out your index finger. Then with your right hand, you'll take the yarn up behind your index finger and bring it over your index finger, and you can drop it just like this. Now you can bring your other three fingers around the yarn besides the tail. Leave the tail hanging. And then with your thumb and your middle finger, you'll be grabbing this tail. You also want to keep the yarn up on this portion of your index finger. This is a little bit confusing, but it'll get easier once your hook is added. So now let's go ahead and start your project with the beginning knot. To make your beginning knot, you take about an inch away from your tail and about 3 inches away from that portion that you just grabbed. Then you can put those two portions together, making sure that your right point is on top of your left point. Then you can grab that with your left hand on those 2 points. And now you can take your index finger and your thumb through the back of your loop. Pick up some yarn that's connected to your ball of yarn and put it into your 2 fingers. Now pull on the tail. And this will create a loop. Now this is probably going to be a pretty large loop, and that's fine. You can just pull your 2 pieces of yarn. Now you want to insert your hook through the back of the loop, and that is your beginning knot. To undo this, you just want to pull your yarn apart. Also, just keep doing your beginning knot until you have it memorized. Now that you've completed your beginning knot, then that means that you can start on your chains. Chains are super important to your project because they are the foundation of your crochet project. You will first need your beginning knot. So go back and rewatch if you need to get that beginning knot down and onto your crochet hook. So after you have made that beginning knot, then make sure that you hold your yarn correctly. So to do this, you take your left hand and you separate your index finger from the rest of your hands. Then you bring your yarn up and behind your index finger. Then you can go ahead and grip the yarn with your bottom 3 fingers. Now you can release your middle and your thumb and grab that beginning knot. Then grab your crochet hook. You want to make sure that you have your thumb onto that bigger portion of your hook and your middle finger onto that. And then your last 2 fingers will grip your hook and your index finger will be holding the top of your beginning knot. Then you want to yarn over. And this is taking your hook behind your yarn, in front of the yarn, and down from your yarn. Then you want to grab your beginning knot with your left middle and thumb, and you want to pull with your right hand your hook through the loop, and then you want to reset your hook. And this is how you make your chain. That is now 1 chain. So to continue, you want to hold with your left hand your middle and thumb fingers on that beginning knot. And then you want to hold with your right index finger that top of your yarn on your hook. and then you want to yarn over. Then you want to pull with your right hand your hook through the loop. Now you have 2 chains, and you want to continue yarning over and pulling your yarn through your loop continually until you have completed a bunch of chains and you feel comfortable with doing this. Your chains are probably going to be a bunch of different sizes, and that is totally fine. This will get more consistent over time, and this all has to do with your yarn tension, which is on your left hand. For your chains, I have a suggested practice time of 5 minutes. Alright, now that you've done plenty of chains, then you can start your first row. On your first row, I am teaching you how to do single crochets. This is also known as the foundation row. To start a new row, you want to chain 2, which means that you yarn over and pull through your loop to make a chain, and you do this twice. Then you go into the 3rd stitch from your hook. My 3rd chain on this row would be this chain right here. So you want to go into that, and you'll see 2 pieces of yarn on the top of your hook, and then you do what's called picking up your yarn, which is yarning over, but you're just going over top into the front. Then you pull that yarn through your chain and you push out your hook. Then you yarn over again and you pull that through both of the loops on your hook and reset your hook. And that is 1 single crochet. To crochet a single crochet, you go into your next stitch, and then you pick up your yarn and pull that back up through your chain, reset your hook, and yarn over again. Remember, yarning over is taking the yarn behind and to the front, over top of your hook. Then you pull that through both of the loops on your hook and reset your hook. This is now 2 single crochets. Continue crocheting your single crochets until you feel comfortable with them, and also until you get to the end of the current row that you're on. My suggested practice time for single crochets is 10 minutes. The next stitch that I'm teaching you today is the double crochet. Before I start the double crochet, I need to add a new row. So to do this, I yarn over and pull through my loop, which is just doing a chain. And you need to do 2 chains before you start your new row. Then you need to flip your work and then yarn over. Then go into the 2nd stitch, which means you're passing both of your chains in the 1st stitch, and you're going into this stitch here. Once you've done that, pick up your yarn and pull that back up through your stitch and reset your hook. This should mean that you have 3 loops on your hook. Then yarn over, and then pull that through 2 of the 3 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops that are on your hook. And this means that you now have your first double crochet. Let's crochet a few more double crochets so that you can memorize this stitch. Start by yarning over. Then go into your very next stitch. Pick up your yarn and pull that back up through your stitch. Then reset your hook to give yourself about 1 inch of space and yarn over again. Then pull that through 2 of the 3 loops on your hook and reset your hook. Then yarn over and pull that through the last 2 loops that are on your hook. And now you have 2 double crochets. Let's do this 2 more times. So to do your double crochet, you start by yarning over, and then you go into your next stitch. Then you pick up your yarn and pull that back up through your stitch. Then yarn over and pull that through 2 of the 3 loops that are on your hook. And then push out your hook with your right hand so that you have about 1 inch of space before you get to your loops. Then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. Now you should have 3 double crochets. Let's do one more. So you yarn over and then you go into your next stitch. Then pick up your yarn and pull that back up through your stitch and reset your hook. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 of the 3 loops that are on your hook. Remember to push out your hook some so that you have some space, and yarn over. Then pull that through both of the loops that are on your hook. And now you should have 4 double crochets. Keep working on these double crochets until you are very comfortable with them and you have memorized the stitch. Once you feel comfortable with the double crochet, to move on to our last stitch, make sure that you reach the end of your current row. My suggested practice time for your double crochet is 15 minutes. Next, I encourage you to continue to add rows, because before we do our last stitch to tie off your entire project, you want to get a lot of crocheting in and lots of rows so that you can feel comfortable with what you're crocheting. My suggested practice time for this section is 20 to 30 minutes so that you can really get these memorized and go for consistent stitches in the long term. Let's go ahead and take a break and stretch out your hands, and you can scroll down and either leave a comment below about how you're doing so far in your crocheting or like this video. And now it's time to tie off your project. To tie off your project, I am teaching you the slip stitch. And this slip stitch has many different uses throughout crocheting, but I'm going to teach you one of the uses, which is to tie off your project. To crochet a slip stitch, you need to come to the end of your current crocheted row. Once you've done that, you can take your scissors and cut about 2 inches away from your crochet project. Then yarn over. Then pull that through your loop. And continue pulling that loop that you just created through your previous loop. Then tighten this down. And now you have tied off your crochet project with the slip stitch. And now you've completed your very first crochet project. And now it's time to practice. And you don't have to practice anymore today because you did such a great job, but I would suggest you practice about 10 minutes a day so that you can remember these stitches. And if you want to watch it again, then make sure that you go back to those portions of the video. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram or Pinterest and share your crochet with me there so that I can see it and respond back to you. I would love to chat with you in the comments, so be sure to leave any questions for me. And hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can get notified each week for more creative content like bullet journaling and crochet. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Be sure to leave it a thumbs up if it was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.